This is The Brigand Children, Book 2 of the Club Lavender duet by Lainey Delarock. Part 6, Chapters 26 to 30. For previous chapters or to start from the beginning, navigate to the playlist titled The Brigand Children on this channel, or by clicking the card on the right. Don't forget to adjust the speed of this video to match your comfortable listening preference. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel to help me produce more free audiobook stories for you. Happy listening.
Chapter 26. I shake the crying man off my leg. He continues sobbing in a ball on the floor, so I gesture to Sophie to come closer. She's been hanging at the door, unsure whether to be in or out. When she gets a good look at him, she gasps.
"You're from the lawyer's office,"
she exclaims.
You!
The recognition in his voice is like an accusation, and his face changes.
You are connected to all this?
I'm not sure what is happening in front of me, but I'll ask later. I stride toward Tanya and the heap of blankets where Yera is supposed to be.
"Phone Matthias,"
Tanya says.
"Yera passed out again."
I don't wait to be told twice. Matthias's break is unfortunately over. While I wait for the line to connect, I peek over Tanya's shoulder. I remember Yera as a dark-skinned, dark-haired woman with many curves. Inside the bundle of fabric, there is someone completely different. The woman is thin, her face sunken in like she's been wasting away for months, not the couple of weeks she's been missing. Her luscious black locks are gone. Her scalp shows through patches of unevenly buzzed short hair. One of her ears is bandaged. That's the damage I can see around her face. Everything else is wrapped up, and I'm afraid it will be more of the same, or worse. By the time Matthias answers, I have formulated a plan of action in my head. As I look at what my indecisiveness has cost Yera, I put a stop to it, and vow to be quick and efficient in all my next steps. Second-guessing myself doesn't do anyone any good. "We've found Yera," I say. "Get in your car without alerting Hannah and the kids and drive to Lavender. Sophie will be there."
What? How?
No time for questions, I will explain later.
On my way.
After I put the phone down, I see Tanya is staring at me, her eyes betraying disapproval. I can't have her be like this anymore. Rash, resolute, commandeering. As much as I respect her, she works under my command. She is part of my triumvirate, and even if my 6 years in captivity have taken away most of my power and self-confidence, I still have a sliver of it. I still know what comes next, and what we should do to avoid harm. "Don't argue with me," I say, my voice firm. She presses her lips into a thin line, and her eyes narrow. She stays silent. That guy doesn't seem discreet. Penelope will be coming after him, and she will be looking for Yera. She will be angry, and she will be extremely vicious because of it. I need you to get in line and follow my orders so we can all make it out of here safely. Can you do that? Her eyes slide down, something like guilt passing across her face. She nods. A heart-to-heart with her is coming right after we get out of this. I fall to one knee and scoop up the blanket bundle with Yera in it. She is light as a feather, and I hate the fact that she has deteriorated so much. And if she still doesn't know about the death of her twin, that news will probably destroy what's left of her. I go to Sophie and the man, who are engaged in some heated discussion that stops the moment we are within earshot. "We're going to the car," I say as I pass her on the way out.
"We're not all going to fit."
She follows me, Tanya and the man trailing behind her. "I know. This is why you will take all the women and drive back to Lavender. Call up Luna, and they'll make sure you get there fast. Matthias will be waiting for you inside to examine Yera." She nods and unlocks the car, waving at the girls still hiding in the shadows outside. They do a small run, as if sneaking, and join us. Tanya is quiet too. I'm both surprised and relieved that I get no backtalk from anyone. I celebrate too early, because Curtis the lawyer grabs my shoulder as I start to load Yera on the back seat.
What about me? You can't leave me here. They will kill me.
I roll my eyes but try not to make any jerky movements. "Tanya," I call. The weight on my shoulder lifts off immediately, and I know she has caught my meaning. When Yera is tucked and strapped in neatly, I tell Lizzie to sit with her and make sure nothing is amiss during the ride. With the blankets and Yara's state, there is no space for a third person at the back. Otherwise, I would have sent Tanya with them too. Bev sits in the passenger seat, a look of either boredom or defeat on her face. I give Sophie a quick hug.
I'll come back for you,
She whispers. We'll take the subway. I don't want to linger around here and we have no other cars. Taking a taxi is too conspicuous.
Are you crazy? The jesters will catch up with us in no time.
The man's voice grates on my nerves, but before I can retort, Tanya has taken out the gun again and is pointing it at him with an angry expression.
Shut the f up.
She says through gritted teeth. I wince. That's the second time she's sworn today. I don't like her with a gun, but the safety is on, so I'm not too worried. I hope the guy doesn't notice. Tanya has done a good job of keeping him in check so far. Sophie climbs in the driver's seat and slams the door. I gesture for her to hurry, but she rolls down the window.
Message me or call Matthias or Luna or anyone if there's any trouble, and I will come get you both. Don't be heroes. Don't get hurt.
There is a part of me that wants to deny that we would ever need that, but the truth of our situation is different. I can use the help, and I find a surprising, comforting feeling inside me from knowing that I'm looked after. I will. For once, the words come easy. She drives off, and Tanya, Curtis, and I are left in the silent darkness of the docks.
She said, both of you.
Curtis says,
You are going to leave me here?
For the things you've done, you deserve to be left here for Penelope to find, I say, absent-mindedly. There is something moving in the shadows, and I don't like it. Let's go.
My only crime is falling in love with her.
He continues whining.
I don't want to take the subway.
Tanya prods him with the gun, and he flinches. We're finally on the move.
If you love her so much, I don't see why we can't leave you.
Tanya snarls. We're too loud, too noticeable. And that movement no longer looks like a haze on the horizon. It is a mass advancing toward us. The air carries a quiet but threatening hum. Shut up, I whisper. Their words taper off, replaced with the distinct sound of shoes on concrete. Many, many shoes.
She found us.
Curtis cries and catches his head with his two bloody hands.
We're dead.
Sophie the Brigand Wraith. The Lavender Lounge is almost as lively as it was when the tea room was open. Yira is lying on one couch, unconscious. Matthias is taking her pulse, his face strained with stress and doctor's concentration. Tanya's backup, the two women who I don't know, are sitting at a table, whispering furiously between themselves, clutching each other's hands like they're in the sky free-falling. My heart doesn't only beat, it leaps forward and backward like a frightened bird in a tiny cage. I'm holding my forehead in my palm, unsure what to do next. Damien hasn't called for help, and Matthias hasn't requested any assistance, so I stand near the bar and look at the aftermath of Penelope's power trip. Yara looks like a prison camp survivor. Despite the fact that it is my first time seeing Yara, I know that captivity has left its painful, probably permanent mark on her. Matthias peels the blankets off her one by one, revealing a thin body covered in dirt and countless cuts and bruises. It's like she's been running in a forest, I mumble to myself. Matthias hears it.
There are no forests nearby. No, this is neglect and abuse.
His voice holds cold accusation. Well, this is now a conversation. I search for words to reply, but my phone rings before they come. I turn away to pick up the call. Hello? It's a number I don't recognize. A pleasant female voice describes the specifics of the call in a flat tone. My heart falters. It's Mateo Gray. There's no one else it could be.
Press 1 to accept the call
The line goes quiet. Yes. Connect me.
and press 1 to accept the call.
I start feeling stupid. Too excited, I didn't pay attention the first time. I press the button.
Brigand child.
The rugged voice on the other end of the line is laced with tiredness. But it is undoubtedly him.
I've heard from your friend in the Jesters.
About time. I press my lips together as soon as I say this. I mean to be respectful, but the criticism of his laid-back attitude slips from my mouth, propelled by the adrenaline of seeing the state of Yera and the young lawyer.
I'll let that comment slide, but I don't appreciate your tone. I tried to get in touch with my son. He didn't pick up. Anyway, our guy wants out as soon as possible.
My heart lurches forward. Is Tony in danger because of us? Do we need to save him too? With Yera's return, Penelope has no hostages left to dangle in front of Damien. But what about my friend? He went in to collect information, to seduce Penelope. But what if something went wrong? Mateo keeps talking. I barely register his words.
Anyway, he says Penelope is making huge steps in a club similar to my son's fall from grace. A venue or something. You need to take it away from her.
My chest rises and falls with the rhythm of my indignant breaths. My recent desire to merge with the brigand wraith, to be one with the entity of my sketchy past, now feels like a naive fantasy. In this line of work, people are constantly in danger, always getting hurt. People that I like and value. Right now, I can't slide into the brigand wraith mindset. Tony's reappearance and his potential distress has thrown me off balance, and everything that Mateo says goes into one ear and out the other.
Hello? Wraith?
Mateo's voice is like a TV switched on for background noise.
Girl?
He shouts the last word. Yes, the Moon Garden, I say absent-mindedly.
Are you going to do anything about it?
The question is so loaded with annoyance that my attention snaps back to the conversation. Tony's influence in my life has always been like that. All-consuming, mesmerizing, angering to the point of love. I know the place, and I tried speaking to the management team, but they don't seem to have any sway over decisions at the moment. The new owner is some lawyer, so they can't win an argument, I say.
Then you need more power, and my daughter-in-law needs to have some taken away from her.
Mateo's voice has now leveled in intensity.
I thought long and hard about it, and I don't trust my son with the remainder of my assets, or with the use of my name. In many ways, it's more valuable than what little I own. I don't trust his choice in partners either, no offense, but look at what mess my family is in. I do trust your chief, however, and he says you're dependable and true to your morals. I can only hope those align with mine.
Are you giving me my building? I'm careful with my words.
Yes, the building is now legally yours. So is the right to buy, sell, and manage property in my name. The agreement between me and Penelope is now void, so find a lawyer fast and make sure you get access to anything still under my name. And if there isn't anything left, well, not much use to cry about it at this point.
If we catch her, it all goes to Thomas, doesn't it? With his legal guardian to manage until he is an adult?
I'm not sure. If she goes to prison, she can give power of attorney to anyone, so don't catch her.
Mateo's words give me a glimpse into his true nature. He might appear to be a forlorn grandfather, abused by the schemes of his daughter-in-law, but he is still a notorious crime lord who has scruples only as far as they serve his own view of the world. He wants us to kill Penelope and make sure the assets stay in the family. We don't do stuff like that, I reply, but my tone wavers. Damien and Thomas won't approve.
You don't have to ask them.
My competency lies elsewhere, as I already said. I don't know why I have to defend my wish not to be a murderer. When the time comes, how will it feel to have to make this decision? My eyes slide to the floor. It shouldn't be my decision.
In any case, act fast. We don't want Penelope to catch a whiff of the fact that she's not allowed to use my name anymore.
Did Tony tell you where the Jester's main hideout is? I ask.
Yes.
He dictates an address, and after I get it down, he hangs up. It would be insane to raid a property full of gangbangers. But knowledge is power, and Tony might need a helping hand on his way out of there. The brigand wraith sprawls her fingers in my mind. A plan forms, the connections between seemingly unconnected things stretching like tendrils to each other, becoming one coherent idea that may just hit Penelope hard enough to unbalance her. It's time for the brigand wraith to enter the game properly. It's time for me to make my mark on Chicago's underworld map. If Tony Maionetto is here, That means the brigand chief is still looking out for me. My phone vibrates once in my hand. Expecting something from Hannah or Melanie, my eyes widen when I read the short message from Tanya. Sod. What does Sod mean? I start typing back, then think better of it. Why isn't Damien calling? Then my brain twigs the mistype. SOS. I grab my coat and keys and dash out of Lavender. A cold wind whips at my hair as I get back in the car and dial Luna. A rough female voice replies, "But the brigand wraith, I don't have time for Luna's endless antics." They're in trouble, aren't they? Get me to the docks fast. I bark into the phone.
After the next light, take a right.
The voice says without objection. The conversation with Mateo Gray fades to the background of my mind. Thoughts of Tony and the chief dissipate as Tanya's and Damien's faces float to the forefront, consuming my attention. Before the brigand wraith can reconnect with old friends, I need to ensure my new ones are alive and well.
Chapter 27. In the semi-darkness, things glint dangerously as 2, 5, 10 people come out of the shadows of the docks and into the muted light of the closest street lamp. I look around the perimeter. Where to run? The warehouse Curtis chose is surrounded by other buildings, but none of them provide a good escape route. Going back is not an option either. We need to fight, I whisper.
I can't fight.
Curtis whimpers.
I can.
Tanya pulls out her gun. Put that away. I push her hands down before she has a chance to aim it.
You take it then.
She pushes it to me. How many bullets are inside?
I don't know.
Tanya's face looks like I've asked her to explain astrophysics to me. Where did she get the damned gun? Keep it. I have my fists. I urge them behind me because the small mob is now within talking range. Tanya and Curtis shuffle behind my back. Fear swirls in the air around me. But for some reason my own fear is far away, buried somewhere with the shame of my indecisiveness. I can fight. If nothing else, that's the one thing that I know how to do for certain. How about you let us pass? I shout, as I make eye contact with our enemies. We didn't get a chance to slip unnoticed, even if we wanted to. Most of them have shaved heads and are dressed in oversized jeans low on their hips. How are they going to fight dressed like bums? Some of them have bats, some have sticks. There are no guns aimed at my face, which makes me feel a bit better. Penelope has only had my father to learn from, and he always thought guns are too obvious, too loud, too easily traceable. Overall, too conspicuous. A gun murder is difficult to disguise as something else. Whack someone on the head and throw them in the sea with a weight. That was more my father's style.
You can pass.
One of the meatheads yells back.
To the other world.
His friends laugh. So that's the leader. I will take him down first. Maybe the others will rethink fighting me if their general of jokes falls. Text for help, I whisper to Tanya.
Who? You're the best fighter we have.
She pulls out her phone anyway. Sophie, Luna, Matthias. Anyone and everyone. You're good at making decisions. Make one now. I'll fight for time. As I say this, the mob encloses us in a half circle. Our backs are to a shipping container. We've been retreating without realizing. But now there's no more space left, so we have to fight our way out. We have to get to the other side of them and run toward the city. I keep thinking we, but when I glance back, I see Curtis cowering and Tanya scrolling through her contacts. It's not we. It's I. I have to fight our way out. My fingers curl around the brass knuckles in my pockets. When I take them out, Curtis gasps.
You can't be serious. There's too many of them.
Keep a lookout for knives then. Help me out, I tell him. Giving him something to do will lessen the chance of him running away and getting himself killed.
I will. Knives.
He chants, his voice wavering at every syllable. The joke general points at us, and they go. Adrenaline floods my body, embracing my muscles with its familiar armor. I duck below the first bat that comes swinging at me. I grab the sweatshirt sleeve of the man who wields it and pull. Unbalanced, he stumbles forward. My right knuckles hit the side of his head. He collapses in a heap, holding his bleeding ear. I pivot and smash one of the other guys in the face, breaking his nose. The only way I can defeat 10 guys is if I make every blow count. Each and every one has to incapacitate. So I aim for their faces and throats. 2 bats swing at me at once, and I manage to avoid one. The other lands square on my back, and I jolt, the pain blooming like a heat pad between my shoulder blades. I hit the unsuccessful guy in the armpit, immobilizing his arm. My mind stills in calm coldness. Duck, hit, swivel. Inhale, exhale, pull, elbow, push forward. I dance around them, a bat or a stick occasionally making contact with my body. As soon as I register the pain, it dissipates and I'm moving and hitting once more.
Knife, knife!
Curtis shouts behind me. The distraction is enough for someone's fist to connect with my jaw. I taste blood as my head snaps back. I twirl like a dancer and catch the arm of the knife attacker a second before he sinks his blade into my side. I pull his arm down with both my hands and knee his elbow. His arm snaps like a stick. His scream is blood-curdling, but I can't afford to stop. Before I can get my hands back into position, I take another hit across the back with a stick. I grunt, the attacker this time way more forceful than before. Although 5 guys are writhing on the ground, there's 5 more. I lift my hands in front of my chest, prime battle position assumed, when my sight blurs. It takes a second for my brain to register that I've been hit on the head. I hear the metal clank of it with a delay that makes worry leak into my gut. The view over Chicago Pier spins in front of my eyes, then dips sideways.
Run.
I hear from somewhere in a voice that I recognize.
Get up, Damien. Run.
When I hear a gunshot, I know that it's Tanya taking charge again. A murmur of disapproval rises around me. They are going to get to her. I turn my head to where she stands, the movement sending a pain through the back of my head like a long needle has passed through. She's holding the gun with 2 hands above her head. She must have shot it in the sky. A warning shot for people who don't need to be warned, but at least she didn't shoot in my direction.
Run!
She cries. The lawyer man behind her is already in a high lunge, ready to dash. But there's nowhere to run. The circle of Jester's muscle remains unbroken, despite now being sparse. I have to finish the fight. Trying to get up takes a lot of effort, and just as I straighten, I take another hit on my back. It brings me to my knees again. This. I throw my knuckle dusters to the ground and reach into my boot for my hidden knives. With all the speed I can muster, I take them out and slash in big, brave arches, aiming for any heel and ankle I can see. A couple of them are wearing thick, wide jeans, so I only unbalance them, causing no real damage. But one of them has skinny pants and sneakers, and the blade slides through his skin like through butter.
Now!
Tanya shouts, her voice rising above the screams of the man holding his leg in agony.
Run! Run! Run!
She is suddenly next to me, using my knife distraction to break through the couple of Jesters remaining. She is pulling Curtis by the wrist behind her. As she passes me, she turns around, her face surprised that I'm still bolted in place.
Move! They're gonna be cooked meat soon!
She breaks her grip on the lawyer man and runs back to me, evading a bat swing. She grabs my shoulder, and I finally understand that she knows something I don't. Her urge to run is not only because of the Jesters. Cooked meat, not dead meat. I palm my knuckle dusters and shoot up, making the world swirl again, but catching the chin of one of 2 remaining men with my head. Somewhere far away, there's pain. Lots of it. But the adrenaline keeps my perception of it hazy, so I push forward, pulling Tanya with me and propelling the lawyer man forward with a shove. We're running. Toward the city, toward Lavender, I guess, but also toward cameras and people and police. Then I look back to see if the Jesters are following us. There they are, like a mob of zombies. Most of them limping, grunting, but 4 are running properly, gaining on us fast. Shit. What do we do? I consider turning around and finishing the fight despite Tanya's frantic run when the night turns to day and the group of pursuers explodes. Chapter 28. My ears are ringing. White blinding dots dance in front of my eyes, but I am still standing. I search for Tanya and find her shocked but unharmed. She has fallen to her ass and is now scrambling back to her feet. Good. Curtis the lawyer is lying on the ground unmoving. Is he dead? I shout, but I don't hear my voice. The sirens in my ears are too loud. Tanya shakes her head and points to her own ears. With considerable effort, I kneel next to him and check his pulse. It's there, strong, unwavering. He must have passed out from the shock. I pick up one arm, dragging him half to his feet when a small orange Honda swerves into my field of vision. I look at Tanya, who's waving. My friends might be few, but they're reliable. I start pulling off Curtis's clothes, ripping them away from his body. I have no idea what the two women think about that, but I don't have the voice to explain. When Tanya brings a blanket from the car to wrap him, I know she's understood. We can't bring another listening or tracking device into Lavender. Luna has enough on her plate with Kiara's one. My muscles scream in agony with every strain. We wrap Curtis in the blanket and drag him to the Honda, sweat and ashes plastered on our faces. As we all jostle ourselves into the car, I glance at the steaming docks, little fires still clinging to pieces of garbage on the ground. The jesters, those who were still alive, look even more like zombies now. Burned, disoriented, crawling slowly to perceived safety. At the top of one of the shipping containers, something moves. A person? Or did I imagine it? Through hazy thoughts and lots of pain, I remember why Ben, Arcana's hermit, was forced to be a bartender in another gang's club. They could have sent anyone. But they sent him, because they wanted to punish him. For being too impulsive, too destructive. And how could one punish Chicago's most notorious arsonist? Make him wash glasses all day? Force him to work with liquids? Blowing up a handful of people does sound like him. So I got into the car without saying anything. We drive away, and as the lights of night Chicago whiz past me, I close my eyes and listen to my tinnitus. It fades a little, allowing other sounds to pass through to my brain. With that, a whole body pain makes an entrance. I wince when Sophie drives over a speed bump. "What was that explosion?" she mouths. Maybe she says it out loud, but I'm still half deaf. "Someone saved us," I say. From the way she flinches and covers her ear, I realize I must have shouted. After that, we all opt for silence. The ride, compared to the frantic rush on the way to the docks, seems to be introspective for us all. Each of us is alone with our thoughts, alone in our heads because of the explosion-induced quietness. I turn around to check on Tanya and Curtis, the lawyer. Tanya gives me a tentative smile, and the man clutches his blanket with an accusing expression. At least he's awake and responsive. Without Luna's instructions, we drive for longer this time, stopping at red lights and for people to jaywalk. This gives me more time to contemplate the weird situation we're in. For once, it's not all bad. There are no hostages left with Penelope and her gang. We even have one of hers. I play with the idea that he might be a spy, but the condition of his hands and his mental state make me believe he's more of a whistleblower. If he's on our side, it means we can have control over the Moon Garden. He legally owns it after all. The hum of the streets returns around me, and I'm happy I listened to Tanya's call to run before the explosion. It was far enough from us not to cause any permanent damage. But how did she know to flee? In hindsight, the knowledge of what's going to happen was written all over her face. Did she see the figure on the shipping container?
Can you hear me now?
Sophie's words are no longer muffled. It's nice to hear the melodic timbre of her voice even if it's still laced with worry. "Yes," I say.
Me too.
Tanya chimes from the back. Curtis next to her is silent. I turn to see if he's passed out again, when Tanya jabs a long-nailed finger in his ribs.
Ow, I can hear you. And I'm awake. But why am I naked? Are you perverts? Penelope is a pervert too.
Penelope is a sadist, I say. And yeah, sure, we're perverts. Sophie chuckles at that. It enables me to continue.
But it's not why you're naked. When the explosion happened, it melted all your clothes, don't you remember?
His mouth forms a surprised O.
I passed out.
He says, then narrows his eyes.
Wait a minute. You both still have your clothes.
I can see how you earned your law degree.
Tanya says.
Penelope has a penchant for bugs, so we had to make sure you were free of any.
You checked me for bugs? Even inside?
His face is so horrified that Tanya bursts out laughing. He doesn't know her, so it probably sounds like an evil laugh. I take the joke further. Of course. It was good the explosion stopped our pursuers, so we could thoroughly check every crevice of your body while you were unconscious. I wink. The action pulls some small muscle in my neck, which twinges with pain. I turn back around, aware of 1,000 different pains. Tanya is still cackling. Sophie laughs too.
Oh, you're joking.
Curtis sighs, his relief evident.
I like your confidence, though.
Tanya says after she catches her breath.
You think we are burning with desire to rummage in your hairy ass, huh?
It was a fair assumption, and your words are not very nice.
He mumbles. Tanya huffs a last laugh, then the car descends into silence once again. The streets are now familiar. I know she's going back into her mind, probably going through all that has happened tonight. I bet she wants to avoid facing me. I don't blame her, but prepare my set of questions for her all the same. When we get to Lavender's back entrance, Tanya is out of the car before I can stop her, but I can't let her evade this conversation. Wait. She stops in place like a kid who's been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. The lawyer man struggles to open the door with his injured hands. I touch Sophie's arm before she goes out. Can you get him to Matthias? I whisper, making sure the man can't hear anything. I don't want to make him privy to any information that might somehow aid Penelope's cause. To get checked out, nothing more. Take him to a corner of the lounge and keep him there.
And you?
She asks. I'm going to have an overdue chat with Tanya.
Good luck.
Sophie plants a quick kiss on my lips and goes out to help Curtis Jericho get out of the car. I slam the door behind me and wait for them to go inside Lavender, before gesturing for Tanya to come back. She's leaning on a wall. I watch her peel herself off and walk toward me with obvious reluctance.
Before you say anything, I'm sorry.
She props herself next to me on the side of Sophie's orange Honda. I want to have this conversation somewhere else, over a drink maybe, but it might get heated within seconds. It might touch on topics too sensitive for a public place. So here's the best I can do. Can I give you a hug first? I don't know where to start, but I know I'm sorry too. Tanya opens her arms without saying anything. She's not a huggy person, so I embrace her briefly, then release her before any awkwardness can settle in. She is stiff in my arms, then her shoulders slump down and she looks tired and defeated. I don't like that you acted behind my back, I start.
You weren't doing anything.
She says in a small, whiny voice. I raise my open palm in front of her. Let me finish. I hate the fact that you felt that you had to act alone. But I've had some time to consider things, and I admit I was wrong. I was indecisive, and I didn't appreciate what the abductions were doing to you, how worried you were. I'm sorry for missing it all.
You had enough on your plate,
she says. In her averted eyes and her arms crossed in front of her chest, I can see she doesn't really mean it. I've offended her. I was wrong, I repeat, because it's not something that comes to me easily. I like being right, like anyone. But there is dignity in admitting my wrongs.
I didn't know how to reach out properly.
Tanya says after a short silence.
You have Sophie. Matthias has Hannah. I felt alone. I had the girls to protect, and I was doing a horrible job at it. So this whole thing is not entirely on you. We should be content with the happy ending we got.
I sigh, looking for my next words. I don't believe we're at the end just yet. Penelope won't let this slide, but I don't mention it. Better to let Tanya be positive about our situation for as long as she can. Life will knock us down again. Where did you get the gun? It has been bugging me ever since she mentioned it on the phone. The look of it was familiar, but I couldn't figure out from where.
Do you remember your promise to always look after me no matter what?
She uncrosses her arms to put her palms to her face. She stands like that for a bit, covering her eyes. Yes. Why? Did you do something? I take her wrists and gently peel her hands from her face. I think she might be crying, but her expression is one of guilt.
Are you sure? You promised me because the bishop was after me and we needed to hide then. But now he is gone. The cult is no more. Do you have any reason to protect me?
Her words hurt because her double-checking something that I've never doubted in my mind means I've lost part of her trust. My protection is unconditional, no matter what you do, no matter what is done to you. You know that. She shakes her head. Her wrists are still in my hands, bony and thin.
It's Valerie's gun.
Blurry memories start to take shape. Thomas, a gun trained on his temple. Valerie and Brad switching places to threaten my son and ensure my compliance in Penelope's twisted party game. My next question sounds stupid in my head, but I ask it anyway. How do you have her gun?
You won't abandon me no matter what. You won't give me up to the police?
She asks for a third time. Of course not. Where is Valerie? I let go of Tanya's wrists and put my palms on her shoulders. She slouches farther. You can tell me. I won't do anything that will endanger you. I promise. I won't let anyone take you from me, be it Penelope or the police.
I killed her.
The words slip from her mouth so softly I have to lean in. But the whisper's meaning is loud enough. Where's the body? I switched to the Damien from long ago, the one that cleaned up after my father's crimes and made sure the deck ran smoothly.
In the junkyard near the airport. She's in the trunk of her car. She's probably squished into nothing by now.
It happened on the day Lavender fell? I ask.
Yes, I followed her. She never got to that tutor group. She never checked out what had happened to Thomas.
You did this for Thomas? I pull her toward me in a hug that is nothing like the stiff one I gave her before. It's meant to be grounding, reassuring, thankful. She doesn't fight me but doesn't hug me back either.
Yes.
She mumbles.
No, well, partly. I hated her. Everything she did. I want to say that I got angry, but I didn't. I planned it. The moment Sophie told me about her plan, I made one myself.
I'm so sorry, this is on me too. Her hair smells like smoke. It reminds me of us running and the explosion. I shelve the Valerie discussion for another time. Why did you make us run away? Did you know something I didn't? She pushes me away gently, like she's had enough and now wants her space.
I'm not sure. You weren't looking at your phone. Look at it. I want to check something.
I pull it out and see the screen is blinking with a new message. I found the hermit, but I don't know if he will help. Just in case, watch out for fires. Yeah, I definitely didn't see this on time. I sigh. Tanya peeks at the message, then raises an eyebrow.
Well, I received this.
She shows me her phone. In 5, run and duck, Firebird, boom. It was sent from a hidden number, but I have an idea about who it is.
It's Ben, isn't it?
Tanya asks, still staring at the succinct call for action on her screen.
He was never one of ours.
You knew? I'm surprised because I thought I had kept the secret well.
I didn't know he was from Arcana. But I could feel he wasn't with us. Nor was he against us. Just there, you know.
Her words carry an air of sadness. I remember how upset she was after Lavender's raid that he had disappeared. You liked him? I ask.
I suppose I still do. Now him taking his leave after the police came that night makes a lot more sense. He simply went back to his own people.
She sighs. But he came to save you.
Maybe he came for you, not me.
She counters. I doubt that. Maybe we will see him again and ask. I lean on Sophie's car and stare into the sky. The stars are no longer visible, covered by clouds or light pollution. For now, we're in a good place. Your leap of faith paid off. I can finally take a breath without my chest feeling like it's between 2 slabs of rock.
Yeah, it's a good night. Let's go inside and check on Yera and the others. What do you plan to do with Penelope's ex-lover?
I chuckle. I don't know. We should form a club or something. Chapter 29. After we've all been inside long enough to sort out what's most urgent, Matthias comes up to me, looking tired as always.
Hey,
He says. The spark from the morning is gone from his eyes.
Tanya and I have devised a plan of action. You want to come okay it?
I nod and head for an empty table, concealed by the darkness of a busted spotlight bulb. Matthias joins me. Tanya and Sophie walk toward us, leaving Curtis and Bev and Lizzie in opposite corners of the lounge. Yera is nowhere to be seen. You've put Yera upstairs to rest? I ask Matthias.
Yes. Bev and Lizzie helped me undress her and make sure she wasn't being tracked.
Good. How is she?
Similar to Kiara. She hasn't been cut up, but I'm afraid that she won't be the same when she wakes up. She looks like she's been running for miles and clawing her way out of somewhere. We need to question that guy about where she was kept and what was done to her.
He points to Curtis, who is moving his legs up and down. He's either really cold or freaking out. His scrawny body wrapped in the blanket, his curly hair messy and matted. He looks like a victim too. We have lots to ask him, I say. I wonder how much he knows and how much he has seen. I wonder what he feels about Penelope. Does he still have feelings for her? Misplaced love can be tricky to get rid of. Tanya and Sophie join us at the table, and I pull out my phone. I dial Luna. Here we all are, my triumvirate, and Sophie, the newest member of this venture, which is not really a gang. Not anything that can be easily described.
Diana here.
The voice from the receiver sounds tired. I put her on speaker and press the button on the side to make her loud enough for us to hear, but not for anyone else in the lounge. Thanks for navigating us all around Chicago today, I say. And thank you for contacting Ben. Matthias raises a brow at that, but I put my palm up to stop him asking anything. All in good time.
No problem.
Diana responds.
Is everyone there?
I tell her who's present, and for a moment this feels very much like a business meeting. The corporate room and a solid agenda are the only things missing. In a weird way, it is comforting. All my closest friends and allies are around me. We have reached a point where we're in a good place, but things aren't quite finished. So it's poetic that now it's time to put our heads together and find a fitting ending to this story. Why did I feel so uncomfortable doing this before? The answer to the question is quick to come. Insecurity, embarrassment, guilt. For now, none of that is really resolved, but I can see a path toward a future where I can start working on it. It's a future without Penelope's presence looming over our heads, so I begin the roundtable conversation by summarizing where we are. People's faces mellow. I can see hope making its way into their hearts. The best we can do for Yera is to offer her the same that Kiara had, I say. I will get in touch with the detectives. They all nod in agreement. Tanya speaks.
Does she know about Layla?
Yes.
Matthias confirms, his voice grave.
It's the only reason she went with Curtis. She said she was too afraid to run because Penelope kept saying she would hurt her twin.
Why would she lie?
Sophie asks. Penelope at the moment needs every bit of income she can get. She's not established yet, and with us after her, she's on uneven ground. She doesn't seem to have any support from any of the other gangs in Chicago. If she did, she would have crushed us by now.
You don't either,
Matthias says.
Do they even support anyone?
I spoke to an Arcana representative today.
Diana says from the phone.
They told me that the Jesters have not managed to take over the Dex drug network. Penelope was taking out our dealers but couldn't find suppliers to work with her.
You deal drugs?
Sophie's voice holds an unexpected tinge of accusation. I started under my father. It were Luna who had the working relationships with the suppliers. My father and I never knew where the product was coming from. A failsafe which has turned into a weak point for Penelope, I say, not wanting to over-explain. Sophie's lips are pressed into a thin line. She doesn't seem to approve. Drug dealing is a controversial topic. We'll discuss it later.
Anyway, now that she has nothing to threaten us with, she will either go away with her tail between her legs or lash out and try to get some control back.
Diana says.
She doesn't sound like a quitter.
Sophie says.
No.
Matthias and Tanya say in unison. Matthias pats Tanya's arm. She gives him a weak, tired smile. Okay, what do we do with Curtis the lawyer? I ask.
I have an idea about that.
Sophie's hand is raised like she's in school. I nod for her to continue.
He legally owns the Moon Garden. The managers there told me a few new members appeared who didn't register themselves. They were registered by the new owner. I bet it was Kiara and the others, but also some who we don't know about. It seems she's using the place to pimp women. If we take it away from her, she loses yet another income stream.
A small smile plays on my lips. Sophie voicing what I also thought causes a warm, safe feeling to spread over my heart.
Wouldn't that drive her underground and make things more dangerous for whoever's left in her posse?
Matthias asks. Tanya shakes her head.
She has to stick to the former deck territory. I know some of the clients. We only need to snatch one to find any new place. She won't be able to hide from us. That's, of course, if she actually has other girls working for her. I made sure to let everyone on the street know what she did to Layla.
It won't come to that.
Sophie says.
I've recently got power of attorney from Mateo Gray. We make Curtis forfeit the Moon Garden to us and use Mateo's name to reignite some of those connections you all had before Penelope took over.
He gave it to you?
Matthias sounds appalled.
That man was always weak when it came to pretty women.
Tanya muses, surprise far from her face. I keep quiet. It's as I thought it would be. The relationship between my father and me will probably never be mended. I can't expect anything from him that would give me power or show me that he has the slightest belief in me that I'm not a disappointment of a son. Which is just as well. He is a disappointment of a father too.
Never mind that,
Sophie says.
Mateo's informer also came through today with the address of the Jester's main hideout. We can ambush Penelope and finish this once and for all, then take the Moon Garden.
Interesting. Sophie chooses not to share the connection she has with my father's spy. I won't force her to reveal it, but a little voice of doubt starts speaking in my ear. The informer was silent until now, when Penelope has lost her edge over us. He might be giving us a chance to attack her at her weakest time. Or if she has managed to win him on her side, it could be a trap to get rid of us by making us walk into the lioness's den. I know Sophie trusts him, but I have been burned before. We don't have enough people for an ambush of her property, I say. Even if we promote the idea that the deck is back, about which I'm against, the other gangs won't lend us people. Not when they could be hurt. This is an inside issue, taking place over our turf. I imagine my father's influence is the only thing keeping them from trying to assimilate us or wage an all-out war for our streets.
How about a little reconnaissance mission first? I can case the place quietly and report back.
Sophie is leaning forward on the table, her face lit up. She's too eager to do this. Why?
Going alone seems like the worst idea,
Matthias says.
Do we even trust this information? It could be a trap.
Sophie chews on her lip. Matthias won't be the one to believe in anything my father stands behind. I can see this is important for her, though I'm not sure why. Perhaps she wants to meet up with her friend? When I question Curtis, I will ask about the hideout. If the two places match, we can consider a recon mission. But you won't be alone, Sophie. I use every last drop of authority I have in my aching body to state my decision in a way that won't be challenged. I look around the table, making sure my gaze lingers on every one of them for a second or two. They all nod. Sophie more reluctantly than the others.
What about the bug we were supposed to be deactivating?
Diana asks. Next time I should get her on a video call.
We should crush it. Maybe let Yera destroy it. She has lots of rage inside.
Tanya says.
It won't help her much, but it's a start. She should release some anger.
Matthias scratches his chin, his eyes unfocused.
Now that you say this, I'm not sure dumping her in witness protection will be a good idea. Yera's body will heal sooner than her mind. At the least, she should be seeing a therapist.
Won't they provide that?
Tanya asks. We should speak to the detectives in the first instance. I don't see why Yera can't destroy the bug herself. Kiara is safely away by now. We have nothing left to play charades with it for. I realize I've been mirroring Matthias's chin scratching, so I put my hands down on the table.
It was fun for Lulu,
Diana says.
Are you sure you're all safe in Lavender? Penelope knows about it. If she raids it, how are you going to defend yourself?
With the new locks and the security system fully functioning, I'm not worried about that, I respond. I took a beating, but I'm still operational.
About that.
Matthias starts, but I don't let him finish. I know. I'm next for a checkup. I sigh dramatically and regret it a second after when my side twinges with sharp pain. So, Tanya, get in touch with the detectives. Keep those two company while Matthias looks over my injuries. I nod toward Bev and Lizzie. They seem relaxed now. One of them has helped herself to a stiff drink from the bar.
Understood.
She gets up, then turns around.
And Curtis?
I forgot about him. I rub my temple. His injuries are worse than mine. Change of plan, Matthias. Go look him over first. He's missing digits. I'm happy with a painkiller for now.
No.
Matthias says. Why not? I groan.
A painkiller will mask your symptoms. I will examine Curtis, then come to you. You sit still. Don't make your injuries worse. Think pleasant thoughts.
Aye, doctor, I say, my voice that of an unhappy child. Matthias rolls his eyes and walks away with Tanya and Sophie in tow. I'm left alone at our meeting table, my pain and my thoughts keeping me company. A moan starts in my throat when I relax into the seat completely, embracing the countless aches of my battered back. Tiredness wraps around me like a blanket, and I close my eyes, willing the darkness behind my eyelids to ease my discomfort. The room is full of the hum of chatter, the voices of my people coming from every direction, mixing into a soothing symphony. It's strange to see so many bodies in the lounge, when I'm used to it now being vast and empty. Before I address anything, I allow my mind to dream for a second. I imagine the place with the pastel lights on, permeated by the smell of freshly brewed tea, ambient music mixing with the buzz of animated chatter. The tables in my mind's eye are surrounded by people, men, women, and everyone in between. They're all smiling, the joy vibrating in the air like a hum. I know it's silly, but it's my vision. It has always been, and as the years rolled by, I know it was the naive fantasy of an idealist. There's no way such a place can exist. When I realize I can no longer hear Sophie's melodic timbre, I open my eyes to seek her. I flinch when I find her sitting opposite me, her arms crossed on the table, her chin resting on her fingers. You can really sneak up on people, I say with a chuckle. She shrugs.
They don't call me the Wraith for nothing.
After a brief silence, she speaks again.
Was it bad? At the docks?
It was a fight, I reply, because I don't know what bad is in her books. I got whacked a couple of times, but I'm fine. Your entrance was right on time, though. Really saved the day.
We're all heroes today,
she says.
Who is Lulu exactly? I know you've told me that you can't tell me about Luna, but what is a child doing in the middle of gang activity? I don't understand.
It's complicated. One day I will take you to meet them. But I have to clear it with them all first. Tanya and Matthias haven't met them either.
So what? They just accept that some of your allies are complete strangers to them?
Not complete strangers. Luna are my oldest allies. More specifically, Diana is. She and the others helped me help Tanya years ago and welcome Matthias to the Triumvirate. In time, I will be able to tell you everything, but for now I can share all that relates to me. I have no secrets from you, but at the same time I can't violate Luna's confidence. I hope you understand. I reach over and squeeze her arm. She nods.
I respect that.
Her eyes hold mine for a second, then slip left. She pulls her arm away, guilt creeping into her features. You have secrets you won't share, right? I give her what I hope is a reassuring smile.
Not intentionally. I do have one or two things to work through in my brain.
She smiles back, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Are you worried about your spy friend?
No. Well, yes. I want to get him out of there. I know he's capable of looking after himself, but I just want the worrying I do to be over, the fear to subside. I'm scared that all this—
She opens her arms and gestures around.
Isn't going to stick. Things are going to get worse somehow. I can feel it in my gut.
You're probably right, I say. But we're also people unused to the normality of life. Every moment without high-octane danger is bound to feel strange. At least for now.
Our perspective is skewed,
she agrees.
So maybe after Matthias examines you and you are in slightly better health, we could check out that location. I know you don't want me going alone, but sneaking in and out, being quiet and receptive, those are the things I'm good at.
I bring my hand to hers, the only affection I can give while trying to sit completely still. Part of me is afraid you will run back to LA when you meet your friend. This life, it sucks us in. I'm worried it will chew us and spit us out eventually, leaving nothing but mess.
I'm not going anywhere, but I need to get some answers, so I can't let my friend slip away. I also don't want to be the reason he gets hurt, or worse.
Sophie threads her fingers through mine, and I know in my gut this recon mission will happen. whether I allow it or not.
The Jester Queen. Penelope Wilson Gray, still sporting her double-barrel surname because of the lack of signed divorce papers, stares at the colorful little leaflet in her hand. Flower Rope Party, it says. At the right corner there is a logo, a white-filled circle and a leaf inside. The Moon Garden. Curtis brought it from the management team a week ago.
Spring is coming.
He had said then.
Maybe we should visit and see what it's like. You've never been there, and it's the main base of your operations.
She told him to f off then, the conversation forgotten within seconds of Curtis storming out the door. Curtis still isn't back. In fact, no one is back. From the underlings who went to the docks tonight, not even one returned. It's been hours, she says to Alan, who is sitting in an armchair in a corner reading. Like he hasn't a care in the world. It is the first time she looks at him, with his relaxed features, and feels a stab of annoyance. He was perfect before. Why does his aura irritate her now? She doesn't dwell on it. Instead, she falls into one of her overthinking states. The situation is dire. Ever since she got pregnant with Thomas, her life had been on an upward trajectory. But after Adrian set foot in Lavender, Penelope's power surge plateaued. Now it's going down. She has no allies left. Yes, she works best alone, on a throne weaved of fear, respect, and seduction. But what use is a throne if there's no one at your feet? It's just a chair.
We can send more people,
Alan says without looking away from his book. What? Penelope is still thinking about Adrian and the way she was wriggling on the stage of the Jester's party. Like being forced to be f***ed by Damien was the best thing that could have happened to her. What a joke.
Maybe our guys are still fighting at the docks. We can send some more.
Fine. Penelope waves her hand. He gets up with a sigh and goes out to do the job. Penelope frowns and stands up slowly, feeling like she's missing something. She takes the book he left behind. It's an old yellowing copy of Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. She squints at the tiny font. The weight of it in her hands is unfamiliar. Who the hell has time for reading when they could be doing literally anything else instead? She puts it back and goes out, nearly colliding with a panting Alan. He looks flustered, like he's been running around. What is it?
Everyone is gone. I found this in one of the rooms.
He smooths a wrinkled note in his palm and hands it to her. She reads it while her face drains of color. Our guys are not coming back. Some of them are badly hurt. Some are dead. This gang isn't worth it. Leave while you still can. She crumples it in her fist. With no idea who wrote it or who read it, she doesn't know who to curse. No one is coming, she says in a small, level voice.
It seems the deck has won.
Penelope screams then, drops to her feet in a squat and pulls at her hair. Her new hair extensions come off in painful clumps. Her wail continues until her lungs sustain it. After she's out of breath, she gets back up, looks at Alan with tear-filled eyes and says, "The deck is gone. I destroyed it. This is Damien and his band of idiots. They can't win. They won't win." He opens his mouth to speak. Then she grabs his jaw and shakes his head. "Don't you dare interrupt me." His soft face appears small in her death grip, but his green cat-like eyes are hard. There's no compassion in them. No anger, no fear. Nothing. The moment stretches until the shame of her anger reaches her. She lets him go and looks at him as if he's a stranger. Then she remembers. He is a stranger. It's only been a few weeks. Who is he really? She was so taken in with him she never did double-check his identity. It is too late now. Curtis would have vetted everyone, so she has to trust he has not made a mistake with Alan. "You don't love me, do you?" Her voice is quiet, but so are their surroundings.
Of course I love you,
He replies. Too quickly, or did Penelope imagine it?
What do I have to do to prove it?
I don't know. I haven't accounted for such a colossal betrayal. She puts her suspicions to one side for a minute so she can take stock of the situation. I have dealers on the streets, but no new product. I have clients interested in paid sex, but no workers. I have property but none of the legal owners present. I have a gang but no members. I have the infrastructure sorted out, but my pawns betrayed me.
It takes time to get established.
He takes Penelope's hand and rubs the underside of her wrist with his thumb.
We know Curtis is with your husband. Curtis owns the Moon Garden. If we set camp there, they are bound to show up. We only need to get Curtis back and get rid of Damian Gray and his closest allies. This will prove to the runaway jesters that we can still take care of them. They will come back. They will bring friends. With Damian gone, we will be able to get drug suppliers on our side. Things will look up.
There's unexpected laughter from somewhere. Then Joey the Giant and 3 of his buff friends pass them, oblivious to the fragile mood of the situation and the fact that all the others are missing.
Well, if no one else, Joey and his pals are still with us.
Alan says. His thumb goes round and round on the tender flesh of Penelope's wrist. She focuses on that small touch, and when their eyes meet again, she sees the warmth in Alan she has grown to love. The readiness to serve. The change she had perceived in him only minutes before must have been due to her anger. That's a good idea, she says. There's one more person we can nab while in the Moon Garden. The girl who has Mateo's power of attorney. She goes there every Friday for the rope party. I'm sure she will be there for the flower party too. You can go and ask the manager to point her out. Then we force her to give up her rights.
How do you know that?
Jerry Jericho had some intel. This was his contribution. He gave me Sophie Taylor and everything he researched about her, and I let him and Curtis live. The thumb on Penelope's wrist stops abruptly. She glances at Alan. You think I should kill them? With that question, Alan's shoulders slump down a little, as if he has relaxed.
No, it's fine. Jerry is still locked up, though. Should I release him?
Penelope shakes her head. Give him some food and tell him to ration it. After we go to the Moon Garden, we won't be back to feed him.
Chapter 30. It is past midnight when Matthias finally comes to examine my pain-ridden body. Sophie and I move to one of the private booths in the corner to discuss our upcoming trip to the Moon Garden, excited for a future without Penelope. She told me about her favorite ties. We explored limits and wishes without picking a specific date. Exhausted from all the talking, she is napping, her head on my lap. She tried to use my shoulder as a cushion, but when a pain cut through my whole right side, I couldn't hide it. So she kissed my cheek and found a more comfortable position.
I can't examine you like this,
Matthias whispers. He sets his bag on the table and sits next to us. Maybe we can stay like this just for a few minutes, I say. I need to tell you about Ben.
That he helped you on the docks? I heard from Tanya.
And that he's not a part of our group?
I already knew that,
he says. This is news to me, so I raise an eyebrow. He catches my unspoken question.
He's an inventor. I'm an inventor. Yeah, he works with explosives and I work with medical drugs, but we shared a professional camaraderie.
How did it even come up? I put a hand on Sophie's head and start petting her silky strawberry blonde hair. She stirs but doesn't wake.
He found one of the antidote rings. Maybe someone dropped it. Maybe he got it from Tanya. I never understood their relationship, but he never betrayed us to Valerie.
Clearly assuming I'm trying to wake Sophie, he pokes her leg. She swats his hand away with hers, her eyes still closed. She is having one of those precious, cute moments. He didn't have a reason. He's from Arcana. I'm fairly sure the Chariot knows all about Lavender and what happened here. Probably doesn't know about Sophie's real identity and Luna. But I wouldn't put it past her. I sigh, which makes me tense from a new pain blooming around the middle of my spine. I'm probably black and blue under my clothes.
I'm not asleep,
Sophie whispers, raising one index finger as if beckoning us to wait for her grand awakening. Her voice is heavy with sleep, and her cheeks are warm and rosy, squishy. When she's sitting upright, she shakes her head like she's in a sped-up shampoo advert.
I need a glass of water. You need to do doctor stuff again. Always doctor stuff,
she mutters, still groggy.
In any case, Ben might still be one of ours. Or if not ours, Tanya's.
Matthias moves next to me and flashes his blinding doctor's flashlight in my eyes. Time will tell, I say. His hands move to my neck. I hiss in pain after his probing fingers find a spot of concentrated suffering. His eyes narrow, but he keeps quiet, his face still. Then he discovers a particularly tender spot at the back of my skull.
Does your head hurt?
Yes. No, I don't have a headache. It hurts like a bruise, so no.
Not yet would be a better answer. You have a wound at the back of your head. Take off everything from the waist up and show me your back.
I do as instructed, though it takes me ages. As I lift my arms above my head to free myself from my black t-shirt, my head spins and I growl to steady myself. It doesn't do much but makes me feel more in control.
Wow,
Matthias says in a sharp voice he only uses when he's unhappy with his patients. I was fighting for 3.
And they beat you up for 3 too.
Then his cold fingers are on my back, trailing old scars and prodding ones that are yet to form. After a few minutes, when I feel I can't bear the annoying twinges of intense pain here and there, he stops. What's the verdict? I ask.
Your back is a different color to your front.
He's still using his sharp tone, which means I protected my vital organs.
Yep, truly an achievement. If they had hit you a bit lower here,
he presses a finger to the nape of my neck.
You would have probably buckled down and not gotten up. Anyway, I suspect a concussion, but you need a scan so we can exclude any internal bleeding.
I've had worse.
I wouldn't risk leaving it. Your back is battered, but looking at how you move, I'm not too worried about a spinal injury. I will clean and dress your wounds, but in the morning, you're coming with me to the hospital.
It would be useful if you had all your stuff here, I say under my breath.
It won't be that bad. You can wear the mustard sweater again. It looks too good on you.
He chuckles. Keep talking, I say. You haven't fed me any painkillers yet, and I can feel every single swipe of your hand as you apply that perfumed stuff on my back. He huffs a laugh. I'm happy I can still make him laugh, despite disappointing him constantly with my disregard for my overall well-being.
It's only arnica cream. Tanya took charge of Lavender and distributed rooms to everyone. There are not enough clean sheets, so Yera will sleep in a made-up bed while everyone else will have to deal with the wiped-down private room beds. The girls already went to sleep. They're bunking up together at the end of the second-floor corridor. Tanya took the bug downstairs to the staff room and locked it in one of the lockers. Yera had a moment of lucidity and said she would love to smash it to pieces.
Tanya seems more like herself when she's in charge, I say.
Waiting never did suit her. On that note, she also called the detectives. They will be here around lunchtime tomorrow. They said they needed the morning to prepare things on their end, which is just as well. We can have you checked over and back to see them.
I sigh. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. I want to sleep until the world ends.
Wow, that's some magnificent bruising.
Sophie comes over, her voice sounding normal, the sleep from it gone. I crane my neck to look at her and see she's holding one of the lavender teapots. The smell of Earl Grey reaches my nostrils like a divine promise of pleasure. Is that for me? I twist some more, the pain of my back already starting to ease under Matthias's meticulous fingers.
I'm not done.
He takes my shoulders and turns my torso back. I'm facing the inside of the booth again. The cushions are nice and plump. I take a pale green one in my arms and hug it. It's cold against my naked skin. Am I not allowed tea?
5 more minutes.
That gives me enough time to set this all up.
Sophie chirps.
What did I tell you about drinking black tea in the middle of the night?
Matthias sighs.
It's decaf. Don't be grumpy.
As Matthias finishes applying the arnica cream and dresses my head, Sophie goes back and forth like a waitress, bringing cups and biscuits. My stomach churns, reminding me I've not had a proper meal in a while.
I'll treat you to lunch on our way back from the hospital,
Matthias says after he's done.
You did well today. I think you're reckless to just show up whenever there's a fight, but I respect that you don't cower in a corner when your friends get hurt.
He helps me turn around to face him and hands me a pill. I swallow it without water. None of us do. We show up for each other. That's why Penelope won't win. Because no matter how dire things got, you all stuck by me. I don't think she has people like that around her.
You pity her.
I don't. She made it this way. She didn't compromise ever. And that kind of person doesn't keep allies easily. Seduction and manipulation can only get you so far. After the curtain falls, you see that betrayals only get you unreliable, opportunistic allies. She is alone. We can finally put an end to this.
And we will.
Matthias pats my shoulder and collects his things. When Sophie comes back with a small bowl of tomato-smelling mush, he is already gone.
SpaghettiOs,
She announces.
There was only one can left, so enjoy them while they're warm.
I can get used to this. I smile and take a spoonful to my mouth. It's hot and slimy, but I don't care. The hunger is stronger than my pickiness.
You better be ready to reciprocate.
She sits next to me, chuckling. She pours herself a cup of Earl Grey and sips it with a look of satisfaction. We don't have decaf Earl Grey here, I remark between bites.
I lied.
She winks.
So what's that story about selling?
I'm surprised it didn't come up earlier. Maybe she was unsure if she wanted to ask. Better to get this conversation over with. It's how I made the money for Lavender, and then stayed afloat despite me being a hostage, I say. I'm not proud of what it is, but I am proud of the way we did it. Diana and I devised a plan so I can gain my independence from the deck.
So you got your father's suppliers on your side?
No, we went our own way. It was the time of the Silk Road, a dark net marketplace.
I've heard of it.
I presented it as an expansion to my father. He was quick to give his blessing when he realized we were online, and thus bypassing all the turf issues. We were going citywide and fast.
And then?
And then the Silk Road got shut down. Before that, Penelope had convinced me to give my father to the police. Don't ask me how I fell for it. I still don't know. I guess I was so desperate to have him gone I didn't notice what she was becoming. Soon after, Penelope betrayed me too and got control of Thomas. The threats started, and little by little, I turned into the Lavender Phantom. I paused to take a breath. It's the first time I'm telling this story so openly. I have to get used to it. Because if I want to spare Penelope's life and give her to the police instead, I will have to tell it again. Diana still has contacts online and access to product, but I've been trying to get out in the light for ages. I wanted Lavender to be a proper club, which earns from drinks and overnight stays and pays taxes. I release the sigh I always do when I talk about Lavender's unachieved goals.
But prostitution is still illegal. Or did you plan to stop that too?
The way things happened in Lavender when you joined was never intended. Tanya has a work background, so when I designed the place, it had a lot of safe places where workers could go if they were in trouble. It was meant to be a safe space, not a solicitation venue. We wouldn't take any percentage of their profits, and we wouldn't charge them for security. We would only provide what a hotel would, with a bonus of understanding.
It's a big dream.
I'm done with my SpaghettiOs, so I pour myself a cup of tea. It's still hot. After the tomatoey goo, it tastes like liquid indulgence. I was brought up surrounded by lots of money and very little love. I've been told having idealistic dreams about a world where you can have both is a byproduct of my upbringing. I take another sip. I don't want to talk about Lavender anymore. We've not finished the topic of drug selling. You don't like the idea of me being involved in drugs.
Sorry, I shouldn't judge.
She starts.
Addiction is a disease, and profiting off ill people has always sounded seedy to me. But I'm a thief, and I know that my actions must have caused a lot of harm to people too. Taking assets from someone might put them in a dire situation.
I agree. But there is no clean crime, no innocent crimes, I reply. All of us here in this building have our morals stretched and bent, but they're still there. We don't murder and don't. We try to make good decisions in bad situations.
That just means you choose a way to hurt people that is outside your field of vision. You don't know how many people have died because they've bought your drugs.
After she says this, her eyes widen and she brings her palm to her mouth. She thinks she's said too much, but I don't blame her for her reaction. I know. We do our best, though. Keep the product pure without cutting it and making it dangerous. We don't sell to children, and we try our best not to sell to new people. Our suppliers are trained in how much to give too. We try to prevent overdoses as much as we can. I have nothing else to put in my defense. I am who I am, and my past cannot be changed. What does this mean for us?
Nothing,
Sophie says after a pause. It seems a conversation is happening inside her head, alongside the one we're having. She stretches her arms and puts them slowly around my waist, squeezing ever so gently.
I can see your soul, and it's a good soul. I have to think things through, but our past is our past. We have to carve out a future that satisfies everyone's morals, however bendy they might be. So there will come a point where this conversation will be something important. But for now, I'm happy that we're together. I'm happy Melanie and Thomas are friends. I'm happy that Penelope is on her way out. And you're here, surrounded by allies and able to respond to whatever she throws at you.
Sophie's words spread like warm honey across my timid heart. A little part of me doesn't believe she's so willing to listen, so easy to talk to, so understanding. Penelope, after all, was lovely to be around in the beginning, too. I don't remember when exactly she turned from a loving human to the manipulative monster she is now. I'm not sure if I was just too trusting. I look at Sophie, her hair in a messy bun, her face sunken from lack of sleep. She has no makeup now. She must have taken it off at some point tonight. Her nails are clipped short, and her hands are soft in places while calloused in others. Her love for rope is real. Believing that her approach to me is also real doesn't seem like a stretch. She already has the use of my father's name and access to my most intimate weakness, my son. And yet she stands by me and doesn't want anything, only my time and affection. It's scary, but I choose to trust her.
This was part 6 of The Brigand Children, book 2 of the Club Lavender duet by Lainey Delarocque. To listen to the next 5 chapters, please navigate to the next video. All parts of this audiobook are available in the playlist, The Brigand Children, on this YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. Like and comment to help get this book in front of more readers and subscribe to the channel to avoid missing out. See you in the next part.